It's time to spruce up that home of yours with a custom sign from McFly Design. I have purchased 2 of these myself, and I love them. He specializes in log signs with your last name on them. My brother and I recently got one from my mom, and we had her address put on it. The signs are big, they are bold, and they are sure to make your landscaping absolutely pop. I think my sign at my house is about 5 or 6 feet long, about 12 inches high. There's nothing chintzy or cheap about these high-quality items. McFly Design, he is not just limited to signs for your homes. You will find plenty of barnwood craft and signs, wedding slabs, glass art, live edge slabs, and they even offer paint nights for you and your friends. So, take a trip to downtown Knoxville right up by the fire station and stop in and check them out, or give them a call at 309-351-0956. Don't forget to follow them on Facebook. McFly Design, your name has never looked so good. Today's guest has revolutionized the way we enjoy our favorite brews. From his small homegrown beginnings to becoming a top-notch name in the industry, he has perfected his craft. His family has served our community for over 50 years. He and his wife have become advocates for a cause near and dear to not only their family, but families all around the country. The positivity that his passion, vision, and dedication has brought to our area is unmatched. We are lucky to have his entrepreneurship, and I am lucky enough to sit down to learn more with today's guest, Mr. Blake Benedict. Blake, welcome, and thank you for taking time out of your probably quite busy schedule to sit down with me today. I appreciate it very much.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
No problem. We have a lot of great things to talk about and learn about, so I'm excited to get into it. Most listeners know, I'm sure they are very familiar with, the Benedict name. It's been a staple of the Knox County area as far as I can remember growing up. Your family owns and operates MSI in Galesburg, which I'm sure is no secret. How long has that been a business here? Any idea?
1972. So
Okay.
a few years ago, we celebrated 50 years. My father, Rob, has owned it fully since like 2000.
Okay.
But he started buying in the early 90s. So.
Good deal. If I did my homework correctly, I think I saw somewhere you're still active with MSI.
Yes, I am.
You are the COO of the company.
Yes.
Which I don't know what that means, but it sounds
Me neither.
important.
Sometimes. No, I just I do a lot of everything. I used to do a lot of service manager stuff with service calls. Making sure people were getting where they're going. My younger brother Adam now takes care of most of that. I still help a little bit just because we're a family business. We all work together. But I do more operations side. Take care of the financials a little bit more, that kind of stuff. And then we have other businesses that I also take care of all that stuff for. So
Good deal.
More high level at this point in time.
Right. So as we know, MSI, really for my listeners really needs no explanation, but just in case someone's out there, just a quick run through, like what services, it's commercial services, residential, it's a little bit of everything, right?
Yeah, HVAC, plumbing, electrical. We do some excavation as well, project management. But yeah, we do a lot of residential in the Galesburg area, and then we work statewide, or I like to call it the I-74 corridors, like where we do a lot of our projects. It's the bread and butter, where we work in a lot of hospitals and things like that. So from Champaign to Galesburg, basically.
Yes, you guys are all over. So as everybody knows, everybody that's listening to this has heard the MSI jingle. It gets in your head. Everybody knows what it's all about, but it never hurts to give a quick plug in case you're in need.
Absolutely.
So not only are you busy with MSI, but your heart and soul, I guess maybe not, but your latest endeavor, this beautiful place that we're sitting in right now this morning, Reserve Artisan Ales and the Vaults. It's a brewery and event center in Galesburg, and I think I saw on the sign it's been open 2021. Is that when you opened?
We were founded. We were hoping to open in 21, but we opened early 22, so January 22.
Okay. You are the, and I could be wrong, owner / brewmaster. Is that what we call it, or do you have a title?
Head brewer, and co-owner. My brother Trent owns
And I didn't know if
so.
the brother's involvement was. I thought Trent was, but I was unsure.
Yep.
So I guess getting started in your brewing career, the story I've always been told, and I don't even know who's told me this, but I've just heard through the grapevine that to me it's kind of fascinating if it's true, where you started to where you're at now, that you just start doing this in your garage at home with like a home brew kit.
Yeah, so Trent and Adam, my brothers, got me a homebrew kit for Christmas one year. I had to have been 22. I was pretty young, but it kind of started because my uncle Mark Davis, he and I would watch Packer games, and we go to Hy-Vee and get a mix 6. Back in the day, you could get 6 different ones, and we would just basically split half and half and watch a game together. And that's when I kind of developed a love for craft beer. And being in like the mechanical industry and things like that, I don't know, I've always liked to build things.
Yeah.
I was like, I think I can make that.
Right.
I didn't know I could make it. I don't know, young and dumb.
And I'm sure plenty of people out there have made their own beer, which might not be a huge accomplishment, but what I like about the story is, I mean, you literally did it at home from a Christmas gift.
Yep.
And now, as you look around, like you're very well known in the beer community, not just in our community, but in general.
Yeah.
Which I think it's amazing, really. So I guess, were you trying to mimic beers you knew, or make your own, like at home when you're making it? You know what I mean? I guess, do you just throw ingredients in to see what happens? I don't, you know.
Yeah. So early on, like it was a lot of the homebrew places, you could buy kits.
Okay.
So they were like clones of big name beer, not necessarily like Bud Light or anything, but like Newcastle, like Browns and like things like that. We had a place in town called Something's Brewing. Jim and Mary Smith own that, and they really helped me along the way, and listen to a 22-year-old kid talking about beer and trying to figure it all out. And so they were very instrumental in my progression through beer. So yeah, it's basically, I started there, and it was like a year and a half later, the job at Iron Spike came open.
Okay.
And I started brewing on a big system. It escalated extremely quickly.
So that's why I have here, like, your professional start was Iron Spike.
Yep.
That is a quick turnaround. Like I said, I wouldn't be able to figure something out like that long. And I'm sure it was still a learning process.
Oh, absolutely.
While you were there, especially on the large scale. How long were you at Iron Spike doing that?
I was there for about 4 years total.
And Iron Spike, when it came to town, was it the only, I mean, do we have any other breweries in town? That was it.
No,
right?
that was it.
So it was a big deal when it came, and a lot of people, and I still think a lot of people frequent there and enjoy
Absolutely
it.
Absolutely do.
But now we are at Reserve Artisan Ales and the Vault. It's actually 2 separate entities within the same building, right? Or no?
Well, I mean, it's one entity. It's 2 separate kind of sections.
Yeah.
The Vault is our big event space. It has a separate name, but it's all one business.
Right.
So it's really just the name of that room.
So starting with the Vault side of things, like he just said, it's a large area for all your events. I mean, how big is that area?
It's 10,000 square foot. We can hold 600-ish people.
Okay.
And we're booked from now until December almost every Saturday. So it's been
that's good. I mean, it was never a true like thing that I thought, not that I was like passionate about necessarily, but it's like now we're in it, and it goes hand in hand.
Absolutely,
it's working out.
It was something that was really needed in the community. I mean, with the reception we've got from people coming in, so that's sometimes you never know what you're getting into.
Yeah, I mean, I've been here for weddings, a wedding and a reception, auctions, fundraisers, dueling pianos. I mean, the place, I've been here for all of it, and it's never been anything but a great time. I see you have a prom coming. Is that your first prom you've had?
We've had a couple.
Did I see A-Town proms coming here?
Yeah. Okay. A-Town, and then Woodhull, I think, had their prom maybe a couple years ago. So we've had a couple of those. I mean, we've had gaming conventions. We've had some Knox students put on like a gaming tournament with like Nintendo Switches and stuff. Things like I've never even thought about those things being something people would use the space for, but
right.
The customer kind of tells you what you need.
I mean, obviously the beverage side is taken care of in-house. Do you guys cater, or do people have to bring their own catering in, or is it both ways, I guess?
So now that we have the food trolley, we can do a little bit of catering. It's kind of on the smaller scale, 50 people and under.
Right.
If there's a business meeting or something, we could definitely do that. Weddings, we still cater out. Basically as long as it's a licensed caterer, you can bring whoever you want.
Yeah, good deal. So you said you're booked essentially or literally through December every Saturday.
Yeah, every Friday, Saturday,
so
basically.
If you're out there listening, you're like, man, I'm going to need an event center. Hopefully it's next year. But if it is next year, you can give them a call or stop out. If you haven't been here, and we'll go into that later too, but it's a great place to host your event. So switching sides to the Reserve Artisan Ales, just real quick, if I may, I've always thought the place is it's fantastic. So just to paint a picture, if you haven't been here, you walk in, front doors, you turn left, you go in this big open room. It's a casual setting. You have a long shuffleboard table. The pinball machines are relatively new, or maybe I'm just...
Well, in the last year, we used to have 3, now we have 6.
Yeah, so there's pinball machines. They have board games here. It's family friendly. You can, bring your kids in. You'll see a giant bus, like an actual, literal, old city bus that is filled with, a bunch of different beers. So it's I'll say cutting edge. I don't know if that's the right term, but for me in my little life, I think it's a great place. So I guess, where did you get the idea of the self-serve system you have, or had you seen it before, or is that something completely new? Yeah,
so Poor Brothers in Peoria Heights, they have a couple more locations now, but I think back in 2016, they were one of the first. They were definitely one of the first ones in the Central Illinois area to do self-pour, and always thought that was a cool idea. And so we also wanted, when we were opening the brewery, a lot of breweries are a very similar experience, and it's all about the experience. That's what keeps people coming back, good beer and the environment. So to do something just a little different, to put a tweak on it, we wanted to do the self-pour system. And it doesn't mean that you're just kind of going and pouring by yourself and sitting there. It's we still have staff coming around talking to you kind of like a bartender or somebody would, and asking you about your day, asking about what you're enjoying off the bus. So it's just a different experience. It's, there's in Chicago and New York and LA and some of these other bigger cities, and even just in Peoria, it is something that's pretty normal. It's kind of a newer thing in the last 10 years.
Right.
I think Shark Tank kind of helped some of these grow. There's a couple of them on there. But
I guess explain, just in case, the self-pour system. What's the process? How's that work?
So you come in, you basically start a tab with your credit card or debit card. You can pay with cash at the end if you choose, but we just start the tab and hold it with that. We'll give you a card that is tied to that, and you can use that to self-pour. So basically you pour by the ounce, you put your card in the slot in front of it, and then you pick the tap you want. That card also now, with our new POS system, the point of sale system, we can use that tab everywhere very easily. You can get food off the food trolley when we have that.
Okay.
And we can actually start you a tab now at any station, which we couldn't before. When we first opened, we could only start a tab at the main station. Then you could go everywhere else, but now with weddings and everything, we can start you cards everywhere, which is a huge advantage. So if I come get a beer card for the taps, I can use that out at the bus and it just rings in. Yep. Oh, it ties it all together. The food truck. I'm confusing, but that's actually, I never thought about that, but that's brilliant. It all ties together. Yeah. I guess so. How many taps total are on that bus? There's 30 on this side and 8 on the other side for the vault. Now, not all of these are yours, correct? Nope, and not all of them are beer. So about 15 of them are ours. Maybe a little bit more at this point, but 15 to 20 are ours. 5 or so are guest taps. Then we also always have a cider, which is a guest tap because we can't make that. We usually have a mead or a wine. And then we always have 3 sodas on. So we have root beer, cream soda, and orange soda.
Oh, okay.
Sometimes we'll get some ski in, which is a kind of like a Mountain Dew-ish citrus drink from down by St. Louis. Something a little different. So, I mean, we have people that come in all the time, and they just love to pour root beer on draft, you know? Yeah.
So you have, I mean, is it a rotate, like you said, you have like maybe right now 5 different breweries. Mm-hmm. Is that the same, stay the same? You rotate some out?
Yeah, so I try to support people that support me. So most of them you'll see are people like White Oak, Triptych, Front Street, Bent River, Back Pocket, and those are all Illinois or Iowa breweries. There's definitely some other ones there. I love putting good beer on from everywhere, but I always definitely try to support people that have supported me.
Yeah, and it seems to stay local, semi-local.
Yep.
Yeah, I've been, I think I was at, this has been years. This is before this, but the 8-Bit Arcade there in Peoria.
Yeah.
And I think I saw, would they have served Iron Spike beer at one time?
They might have, yeah.
I think, I feel like.
Yeah, when they opened, because I was at Iron Spike, when they opened, because when 8-Bit opened, our beer was there. We did a tap take over there at one point.
So I guess I see behind you, you do have a bar, and it looks, it's fully stocked. To me, it looks fully stocked.
Yeah.
So I guess you do offer something other than beer. If you're not a beer person, there's plenty of spirits back there. It looks like mixed drinks.
Yeah. So we
option.
make lemonade shake-ups. We can add vodka. We can leave them plain. Bill's lemonade shake-ups are very good. Then we also have basically any mixed drink you could ever think of. We have a very extensive bourbon collection. That's kind of a me thing. I can't say we have the best in town because that probably goes out to Bar 65.
Right.
But I'm trying to catch up now. He does a great job. I love going there. That's actually a place I go and hang out at quite often. But yeah, so we have a decent amount of bourbon and some scotches, some nice gins.
So yeah, because I know a few people that in our older ages, beer just doesn't sit well with them. Yep. So it's nice to have that other option. So it's not just beer here. You can get whatever you want. The food truck or food trolley, that's new.
Yeah, we started last September.
So it's less than a year. And from everybody I've heard, now I've not eaten off of it yet, but everybody I've said it's phenomenal.
Thank you.
What are the is it a set operating hours for the food? Or
yeah,
is it
it's on Friday, basically from 4 to close, and then Saturday it's noon to close. So we're open all day Saturday.
I would assume special events might.
Yeah. So when we had our trivia on Wednesday, we were open for that.
Okay.
So we do open here periodically for that. But
so do you? Is there any food specialties? Do you have any creations, or is it just?
We have our smash burgers, which one of them is called the Gels Burger. So I've always thought the Gels Burger would be a great burger for establishment in Galesburg to have. Yeah. And I was trying to figure out what would be a good Gels Burger, like what needs to be on it for it to be called that. And the building right behind us used to be the Hotel Custer, right?
Oh, okay.
And the Hotel Custer, back in the day, there was a chef that worked at that one and their sister location out in Omaha, Nebraska. And legend has it he created the Reuben sandwich.
Really?
And so we put corned beef on top of a patty and make it in Thousand Island and call it a Reuben burger.
And that can't go wrong.
No, I mean it's a delicious burger.
That can't. So, that sounds delicious.
So I don't know. I always kind of knew that story.
I'd never heard that before.
Yeah, I think Watering Hole used to put it on their menu, and that's like what. Well, they said it was created at the Hotel Custer, which is it's pretty true. I mean, it's the same chef that worked at both and helped maintain both.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I started deep diving, and from everything I can see, it's.
I'll definitely have to try that because you go down to Cherry Street, their Reubens obviously and Reuben rolls are phenomenal. So yeah, that sounds really good. We were I was in a couple weeks ago, and you have food inside, like appetizer type. Is that all the time if you're here?
That is all the time, yeah.
And like I think we had the pretzel. I don't know what else, you know.
Yeah, pretzels and basically we have St. Louis style pizzas.
Okay, that's what it was. But all I know is we got the pretzel, big, great pretzel, and it came with this, I don't know if it was a bacon jam.
Oh, yeah, it was a bacon marmalade.
And the cook, what's his name?
Brandon.
Yes, Brandon. I went and found him, and I was like, dude, do you make that bacon jam? He's like, actually, it's not made from scratch. But like,
it's true.
Dude, we were eating it by like the fork.
It's good
like,
stuff.
And I was like, do you put that on a burger? He goes, you come out there when I'm working and tell me. He goes, I'll put it on a burger. I'm like, oh, a bacon jam smash burger. I'm telling you, it's worth the trip here to get the bacon jam. I don't know if there's onions in it, I think.
Yep.
Oh my God. It was like, we literally just kept eating it. Just, I don't know. The fat kid came out, I guess. You guys also have a trolley, like a traveling trolley, for events or for I guess what do you use the trolley for? Just whatever somebody wants to use it for?
Yeah, we don't really rent it out necessarily for like a
It's not a party bus.
No, because we just have too many things going on. But we use it mainly for mainly for weddings. So basically, when you book a one of the wedding packages, it comes with, you know, some trolley transportation. Whether it be, you know, some people get married here, like ceremony to reception to everything here. Some people, you know, they're at a church having their ceremony, and then we pick them up and bring them all back here. Sometimes they take it and go do pictures in between. Sometimes people just want it at evening to transport guests back to the hotel or whatever. So, yeah, I mean, basically they get to pick and choose what they use it for the set time they get. And then they can always add more hours if they want to do extra things. But
yeah, and when I sat down with Randy the other day, and he was saying, so if you heard my episode with Randy Bryan, I believe you might be lucky enough to have him transport you on the trolley from time to time. Is that accurate?
It is accurate.
So that you're getting a character as a driver, an entertainer. I mean, it's I've seen the trolley around, and it's just the whole concept you have going, like, and how it just keeps growing and tied into things. It's for the area, for the community. I just think it's wonderful. So the beer making process. And I kind of touched on this when you're brewing at home. Like, where does the inspiration come from? So, like flavors. Like, if you wanted to have like I don't even know if this thing, like a raspberry flavored-ish beer, do you literally just toy with it on a small scale? Or is there like a recipe and certain stuff?
I mean, so like the base beer, there's guidelines, right? So you're going to play within those guidelines for the most part. If you're doing like a raspberry wheat, for say, like an American wheat that you're adding raspberry to, there's, you know, everyone does their own thing a little bit, but you stay within a certain amount of guidelines, and, you know, usually those beers have certain amount of wheat, certain amount of regular, pale malt, things like that. And then basically we get to choose, you know, are we going to use raspberry extract, which is a pre-made product? Are we going to use raspberry puree? That's real fruit puree that will ferment or do those things to help give those flavors. So we have to choose how like natural or artificial we want that flavor to come through. And there's some that are you have to use like an extract to get the flavor you want because there's no other way to do it. So yeah, we kind of toy with that. It is more complicated than that. I'm definitely oversimplifying it.
I'm sure.
But like for the most part, and there's so much out there from like on the internet and everywhere, from breweries that have been doing it for thousands or hundreds of years out over in Germany and things like that, to just people on forums talking about things. So when
you do, let's say you have a concept in your head, do you do it small scale? Or do you make it just, let's just run with a big old batch and see what happens?
Well, so we have a 5-barrel system, which is 155 gallons. We can do about 3 barrels. We can do like a half batch in our system.
Okay.
So sometimes those will do like a half batch, but there's some beers that I'm pretty confident, even if I've never brewed it before, that I'm like, there's not very many variables. We're doing a light beer. We're doing something like that. It's just like, I'm pretty confident at this point in time that I can make it work.
So start to finish, the process. You're coming in. All right, I have to make beer today. What is from the time you start to the time it hits a tap?
Yeah, so
what's that process?
The first day is the brewing, like actually brewing, is 8 hours or less, usually less. And then 2 weeks to 6 weeks, depending on if it's a lager, we like to let it cold condition for a while. If it's we have a couple beers that are coming out for Beer Fest that we brewed last Friday, and they'll be ready by the Beer Fest on April 12th. So
it's not a quick turnaround.
It's not super quick, no. But it doesn't. But once you like get going, because like I remember going back to the first homebrew, and that 3 weeks, 4 weeks that you waited, it felt like an eternity.
Yeah.
And now like I brew a beer here, and it's like, oh, it's ready, and it's 2-3 weeks have passed.
That would have been my problem. Like I remember I tried to make a wine one time in milk jugs, and it's like, oh, you got to wait this long. And it's like, no, I'm not waiting that long. It'll be fine. I mean, it was terrible. I don't even like wine. I just thought it'd be like I was cute or something. But yeah, the learning, I would get impatient. But it's definitely a process. But anyways, you also, it's not just all on tap. You have, I see the cooler over there. You have cans.
Yep.
And I don't know if they're 4-packs, 6-packs.
They're 4-packs, yep.
Yeah.
And singles you can buy.
Are those available like at stores around here, or do you just got to come here?
They're not available at stores really right now. Kind of doing everything out of here. Our beer's on tap a couple different places, but yeah, the cans we basically only have here.
Which really, I mean, if you're coming to Galesburg, let's say to Hy-Vee Wine and Spirits to get some beer, I mean, go a few more blocks. Yeah. You know, I mean, it's all the same. It's worth it. It's unique, you know. It's local. That's what I find really, really neat about the whole thing. So switching directions a little bit. That's something that's not going to be familiar to anybody. Me. You've become very active with the Vascular Anomalies Alliance. Like I said, unlike your beer that everybody's, familiar with, this is probably more unfamiliar with people. So I guess what is that and what's its purpose?
So my son Vale was born with a port wine stain. So some people, it's called a birthmark, and my wife Lindsay would be way better to talk about all the ins and outs, because that's her passion and heart and soul. But essentially, it's a vascular tumor. So it always grows. It's not anything life-threatening or anything like that for him. And we're fortunate enough to be able to take care of it and do all those things. But there's a lot of families that have to live with that. And it's on his face, so we have to go out to, we choose to go out to New York. There are a couple places kind of close by, but still like Iowa City or Chicago that do it. We found through all of Lindsay's research as a mom and figuring out the best plan of attack, we ended up going out to New York, and he's considered one of the best in the world, Dr. Geronimus, and do laser treatment. Okay. So these doctors in these bigger cities will do this laser treatment at a very reduced cost for children. Okay. So it's really cool that they, it's not a money thing for them. They're just trying to treat kids. And anyhow, there was another organization called VBF that helped us out in that scenario. They are still active, and we were a part and worked with them. And we decided that we wanted to do something a little different. So we work we complement each other. We do different things within the vascular community. And it's about a year and a half ago, about a year ago, we decided we were going to create this new organization. So my wife and I are a part of it. And then there's people from all over the United States a part of it. So people in Michigan, New York, Washington State, and a couple other states I wish I knew off the top of my head. But basically, we're going to help fund travel for some of these people to go, because not everyone lives in New York. Not everyone, even to go to Chicago. I mean, there's families that burn a tank of gas and paying for a hotel. That's not super feasible. Right. So we want to help that. We have a couple other initiatives for some research stuff, and then also just bring in awareness. So we have so kids in school and things like that. Like we're going to have packages that we can give to a family that lives in a school district hand to teachers and everyone, and people can like put on their birthmark day, you know,
Oh,
and just so to help
some inclusion.
Yeah, inclusion stuff. So, because and then there are some people that have birthmarks, and luckily Vail doesn't have any of those, but you know, they can affect your eyes, they can affect your mouth, they can get into other places.
Okay.
And yeah, so it's something that we're very passionate about, and we want to take
So is this something, like you said, you know, obviously you do treatments. If you stop treatments, do they come back? I mean, is this something you'll have to treat, you know, forever essentially?
Yeah, and eventually it's going to be his choice to, if he wants to continue to do treatments. We chose, you know, as parents to do what we thought best at that time. And treatment's encouraged because it keeps it healthy. It doesn't really go away. I mean, like when he gets cold, you can kind of see a little difference in the skin color. But we also don't ever, I mean, we would prefer it never get super thick and, you know, noticeable for him, but also just because uncomfortable.
Well, I mean, that's, to me, it's really cool because, I mean, as we know, as everybody knows, kids are ruthless. And if a kid was to come to school with, you know, a birthmark on their face, neck, I mean, somebody's going to comment.
100%.
And really, the kids would be pretty resilient, you know, but this is something not people think about.
Yeah.
So like, you know, it's not a cancer, thank goodness, or anything like that. But it's really cool. It's going to bring awareness because I'm sure there's more people in the area that don't know that there's options.
Oh, 100%.
And now there's a local option, at least to get assistance and information and see that there is stuff you can do about it. So as you said, you and your wife, you serve on the board of the VAA. Is that what it goes by? I'm assuming acronym. And then you kind of gave a rundown. So basically, it's just you're raising awareness. You're going to help raise funds, which we'll get into like some of your fundraising for it here in a minute. But it's just an active role. So I did a little bit of research on that yesterday, reading about what it was, and saw you and your wife on the website. And a lot of people don't take the initiative. They talk about it like, oh, we should do this, we should do this. But I admire the fact that you guys proactive, not only with your son, but now you're not stopping there. So it's going to make a big difference to people that you may know, people you may not know, but that's very commendable. And obviously you guys are proud of it. And everybody in the area is going to be proud of it because, you know, they'll learn more about it as it goes. Yeah,
the amount of people that we just know from growing up to like they had kids, like we've had people reach out, they're like, you know, we have one of those on my daughter's foot. We didn't know what to do. Because like doctors around here, for the most part, it's from everything I've been told in the medical school, like it's a page. You know, there's a lot of things out there, right? And no fault to anyone, but you know, you get basically passed off of like, it'll be fine, it's a birthmark. Well, there's a lot, it's not a birthmark. It is a birthmark. It's not the same as like the little discoloration on my skin that, you know, it's a little more tan or whatever. And so, it is not know like when we started doing that, when so many people started going, this and that, and talking about it, it's like, my cousin has this, but you know, it's like, wow.
They've probably just grown up thinking it is what it is.
Yeah, exactly.
But you know, now, so it sounds like there's even more bigger things to come with that in the future. Like he said, helping families that may need help, at least with information or getting steered in the right direction. You know, don't be afraid to reach out if you or someone you know is dealing with something like this. Like I said, it's not often thought about, but it's nice to have. It's nice to have the connection and the option. So this leads us into some upcoming events. So is it your big main event, the Galesburg Beer Fest? Is that
for us? Yes. There's a couple other events within the VAA organization. There's a Jody up in Michigan puts on a big race, 5K purple polka dot race is what it's called.
So the third annual Galesburg Beer Fest is coming up Saturday, April 12th from 12 to 4. Is that correct?
Yes.
So people that thinking about coming to that, what can they expect if they show up?
33 different breweries / wineries, meaderies. There's 2 wineries, 1 meadery, and then the rest are breweries. So basically you come in, You pay for your ticket prior to. We do all the ticket sales online. It just helps streamline everything.
So no tickets at the door?
Well, you can buy tickets at the door, but you have to buy them on your phone. Like up until day of. So there's no tickets here. But anyway, we scan your ticket. You come in. You get to sample 30 different craft breweries, beers, wine, mead, whatever you want. There's no restriction really. They're little 3-ounce pours, so you can try a little bit of a bunch of things. It comes with a food voucher, so there'll be food from our trolley that you can get. So that's included in the ticket. So you get a drink and eat basically for that price, and then we also have a wood-fired pizza place here doing wood-fired pizzas too. So, what's the cost? That's a good call. I believe it is $40 for general admission, which is 1 to 4.
Okay.
And then noon to 4 is $50, and I'm gonna probably screw that up. I should know it off the top of my head. But yeah.
But I mean, either way, I mean, somebody might hear $50, but I mean, you get 30 different
honestly
samples of beers. You got food, all included.
Exactly, all included. So, and it's 3 hours, or 4 hours if you do the early, and 3 hours if you do the other. And I've never heard a person come out of a beer fest going, "Well, I didn't get my value out."
Well, I mean, if you came and sat here with your own tab open for 4 hours, you're probably spending $50.
Yeah.
And not getting the food and different.
Exactly. Yeah.
So it's definitely worth it.
Yep.
So, where was I at? So the best part about this is not a fundraiser for you and your company. This all goes towards the VAA. All proceeds help the situations we just spoke about. So not only do you get all the beers from here, well, the ones that are available, the 30 different breweries, like I said, it's $50. It's a great cause, and you get more than you want. You probably might not get through everything for your $50. I mean,
you probably can't.
If you had 50 3-ounce beers, I mean, that's a long 3 hours.
That's a very long 3 hours.
But I was just talking to my wife, because she asked, I think the daycare's doing a parents' night out the 12th. So I'm like, maybe we can get a parents' afternoon out too, because it sounds like a good time, great cause. You also have some trivia nights from time to time. Are those regular or during the week, or are they just hit or miss whenever?
Yeah.
Do you guys put them on? Does somebody else come in, put them on?
Yeah, so we do monthly trivia. Now, there are other trivias from time to time that different organizations put on for, a fundraiser for themselves. But we just started doing monthly trivia.
Okay.
And we always post the month before what it is. We put most of them on. We are, for that monthly trivia, we are open to, and we kind of put it out there, but haven't got really anything back yet. So it's all been us, but it's if there is organizations out there that want to, on a Wednesday or Thursday night, put on their own trivia. The Knox County CEO, actually, that CEO program, they actually did one earlier on, and they did a very good job and had a very good turnout, and they get to collect and keep all that money for their organization. The drink sales and stuff come to us, and then the room rental is basically waived for them, so they get to profit any of the ticket sales that they get. So we're open to that. There's a form online. I think we'll need to repost it again, but there's a form online that you can go out and fill out on our Facebook page that you can, say what your organization is, what you want to do, and you come in and put on trivia, and you take the money for yourself to help whatever organization that is.
Right. Because I've seen pictures, and people get into it. You had a wrestling one, and people were dressed up.
Yeah, I think that was our the '90s one we just had was very successful.
Yeah,
that was this week. But that wrestling one I think has been the most successful, but also the most attended, and people dressed up and they showed out. So
yeah, I mean
that's cool.
That's a good time. I mean, middle of the week, some entertainment. Relax. I guess personally, I've always thought it was cool. This is maybe irrelevant to anybody, but I am a Packers fan. You actually got married at Lambeau Field, right?
Yes, I did.
I've only been to Lambeau once, and it was when the Giants beat the hell out of the Packers in the playoffs in, was that 11? 2011 maybe?
Well, I think it was 2 times that happened.
Yeah, I don't know. But
both times they went to the Super Bowl.
Great experience. I think at kickoff, I want to say, it was a night game too. So it was like 3. I mean, just cold. But like, I guess how cool is that?
It was very cool.
Did you get married on the field?
No,
or do they have a place? I mean, people do this, or
yeah, there's a couple different places, but basically it was in the atrium, which is their big like entrance area, up on like one of the 3rd floors, kind of overlooking that atrium. Mm-hmm. That's where the ceremony was, and then they have like their box suites. There was like this. They have banquet rooms; those are booked, but they have like this big box suite area, and the hallway of the box suite area is very wide.
Yeah,
it's a huge room in itself, and that's where our reception was. And then you could like literally go out and sit and look over the field. They had the thing lit up. It was very cool. There was, we're Central Illinois, so it's many Bears fans, many Packers fans around this area.
Yeah, absolutely.
And all the Bears fans were like, "This is cool."
But it just goes to like, I mean, you think outside the box. Like your establishment here, it's outside the box. Yeah. Your wedding outside the box, and it's all successful. It's all unique. So I guess just my thoughts for those out there that give a crap, you probably don't. But this place, I've always thought this place is super cool. Like, it's a different experience each time you come because the beers are oftentimes different. When it comes to beer for me, like I'm your average Joe. I'm your like, hey, I'll take a Busch Light. I mean, because it's just that's what we do in this area. Yeah. I don't stray too far away. I've always liked it. Like I told you before we got started, I would get in the habit of going to Hy-Vee and like, oh, that beer can looks kind of cool. Mm-hmm. So I buy because you gotta buy a 6-pack, and oftentimes being craft beer, it's $15. Yep. I get home one sip and I'm pissed because it's like this is horrendous. Which, it is what it is, and I just dump it. My wife loves when I do that. But you come here, this place is like broadened my palate a little bit. I don't broad too far. Like the IPAs, I'll be honest, I've never found an IPA I like.
Fair.
But I also don't try them because I very often.
Yeah, I get it.
But coming here, I have found different stuff that I like, and it makes me feel, a little more intelligent than Busch Light. But, and maybe that's a bad way to put it. Yeah. But, that's the self-pouring system. You want to come sample something, just give a little pull, shut it off. You probably pay 89 cents, and rather than you have to buy a glass of beer for $8.
Yeah.
Then if you like it or not, move on. My biggest thing when I come here that I get tripped up with, I don't know what glass to take.
Yeah.
Because you have pint glasses. I don't know. I mean, I'm sure there's different glasses you choose based on your beer. I always pick a fun shaped one because it looks more studious.
Me too.
But I don't know, because I mean, you've had on the other side, I've been here for events, you've had domestics on tap. And I still get the fancy cup because people probably like, oh, that guy knows what he's doing. And I have no idea whatsoever what I'm doing.
Yeah, so.
But you said you have people here, like there's people you or your employees can help, like, hey, this glass serves, there's a purpose for these.
Exactly. The shape of the glass kind of helps with some aromas, and some of them are more traditional glasses for beer styles, from an area. Again, going back hundreds of years, not just we decided it. So we have like the German mug there for, some of our fest beer, and even like the Italian Pilsner and things like that would be great in it. And then we have other taller glasses, that's a Pilsner glass that's, kind of in that same realm of beer. It's just kind of like what glass you want.
Right.
The curved glasses are great for IPAs and sours and things like that because the way the glass is curved, it helps just like accentuate the smells and everything. Yeah. And then your pint glass. So pint glasses, we have them because people think that's what you're supposed to have. They're shaker glasses. They're meant to be to shake cocktails in.
Well, I'm going to look at every pint of beer I ever have again differently.
So I don't usually ever choose that because
I choose the second level.
Yeah, no, second level's. That's a great glass.
And it's just because it looks cool.
Yeah.
Sometimes I get the short ones, like on the third shelf there.
Yep. No, those are nice.
Again, I might have water in it. I don't know. I feel important. But I guess, when you get a glass, I guess if you get educated, like, hey, try it in this glass. You can go get a new glass. It doesn't cost.
Yeah.
There's a place you put your empty glass. I know people always say Guinness. If you have Guinness, it's got to be out of a Guinness glass. And I guess there's a shape. I don't know. But, whatever. I'm not educated enough in it. But there is something for everyone here. As I touched on earlier, I'm looking at board games right now. So you can come out here for an event or a Saturday, Sunday afternoon, anytime, parents, and you can bring your kids. They got pinball machines, they got shuffleboard. Obviously, if you're here for too long, don't bring your kids. You don't want to be safe. But it's, it's not your typical, oh, this is a bar, kids get out. It's something for everyone. I think is great for the community. I know you have a big following, a big support system, and hopefully the maybe 180 people that listen to this, maybe it gets you 3 more. I don't know. But either way, I want to promote positive things in our area. As far as the vault goes, like I said, I've been multiple times. I've been to a wedding. I've been the actual wedding that turned into the reception, auctions, not trivia nights, fundraisers, dueling pianos. Great place. The staff has always been on top of it. They've always been helpful. Everything's always been clean. You get a big event, you go to the bathroom some night. Everything's been top notch here. So I commend you and your staff for that. And finally, I just think for the community, even going back to we're talking about MSI, you guys have been pillars in the community, service-wise, and now you're a different type of service. It's a great positive influence that hopefully those who haven't experienced it step outside their box and experience it, whether it's here, whether it's, their AC goes out. All realms. So the community is appreciative. I appreciate it. I know the people around me think it's neat. So what you're doing and what your family is doing and have done doesn't go unnoticed, as I'm sure you know. But if you have some more events. I think I saw you have a music once a month. I don't know the dates exactly, but I know you're having bands come in, just like a Saturday type thing.
So Lindsay, she does all our social media. She just posted on Facebook our kind of summer lineup for the bands and stuff. So they'll go on Facebook. We have a whole lineup all the way through September. It's not every weekend. Last year we kind of did every weekend. We scaled back just a little bit, kind of making it more.
But I guess
not as repetitive.
The one thing I failed to mention, behind me out by where the food trolley is, there's a huge outdoor patio, covered patio. I'm not talking a back patio. So when the weather's nice, you have big garage doors that open up to go out there. So it's an in and out thing.
Yep.
It really is the whole thing. It's just an awesome place. Once again, the 3rd annual Galesburg Beer Fest is coming up Saturday, April 12th. You can go probably Facebook page, website, get your tickets. If you show up and don't have them, you just got to pull your phone out, get them real quick. Not a huge deal. I encourage everyone come out, support that. It supports a great cause. You get to sample stuff you're never going to, otherwise. So don't miss that. Blake, I appreciate meeting me here in the morning, giving me some time, letting me still break in my newness to doing this. But for everybody out there, I appreciate you listening. You can find the Dirty Do podcast. Facebook's probably your easiest. I share everything. It is on YouTube, but there's no video, just the audio, or you can find it on Spotify. I thank everyone for listening, and I will see everyone again next time on the Dirty Do.